5S methodology. Don't confuse this 5S with housekeeping, as it is much more than that. It is a lean, most effective, and most widely used tool as well. These days, everyone is talking about having a 5S system in place, and some have also added the 6S safety as well. So, what is this 5S and how it is going to impact you and your organization? So, in this video, we're going to understand this 5S system in detail. So, without wasting any further time, let's start our video. Hello, and welcome to yet another video series from Digital Learning, your one stop solution for all your learning needs. 5S is a systematic approach to workplace organization and represents the five Japanese words that describes a series of steps for a workplace organization process. These are seiri, which means sort, seito, which means set in order, seisō, which means shine, seiketsu, which means standardize, and finally shitsuke, which means sustain. And if you add another 6s, that is for safety, it is termed as 6s, but this has not to be confused with 6 sigma. This 5s technique was developed in Japan as was identified as one of the techniques that will enable the just-in-time manufacturing. And this is approach which is never meant to be a one-time activity, but an ongoing activity which has to be repeated every time. So these 5S activities are created to create a good working environment through the reduction of Muri, and Muda. 5S began as a part of Toyota production system. The manufacturing method began by leaders at the Toyota Motor Company in the early and the mid 20th century. This system, often referred to as lean manufacturing in the West, aims to increase the value of product or service for customers. This is often accomplished by finding and eliminating waste from the production process. In simple terms, the 5S methodology helps a workplace remove items that are no longer needed. That is the first S, sort. Organize the item to optimize efficiency and flow. That is the second S, straighten. Clean the area in the order to have more easily identified problems. That is shine. Third S, implement color coding and labels to stay consistent with other areas, that is standardize. Fourth is and develop behavior that keep the workplace organized over the long term, that is the fifth is sustain. So this 5S can be a foundation for continuous improvement, zero defect, cost reduction, and many more productive workspaces. So let us look at each one of them in detail one by one. The first step in 5S is sort. It involves going through all the tools, furniture, material, equipment, etc. in your work area to determine what is needed to be present and what can be removed. That is basically sorting the necessary and the unnecessary items. So when you sort, you remove items from work area that is not needed for current production level. It involves questions like what is the purpose of this item? When was the last time this item was used? How frequently it is used? Who is going to use it? And does it really need to be here at this point of time? So these are some of the questions that you ask. So next thing is the red tag holding area. So items that cannot be removed immediately should be tagged for later removal to the red tag holding area. So you always have a designated location marked as red tag area. So you can place the sorted items with red tag and keep them highly visible and clearly label them and finally assign a red tag manager to it. These questions will help you determine the value of each item. This is the perfect example of sort where you can see the left side where everything is cluttered, the right side everything is sorted and in the right position. The second stage of 5S implementation system involves straighten. It says that there should be a place for everything. and everything should be in its place. Items should be arranged in a manner that promotes the efficient workflow with the equipment used in most effective manner so that the right item can be picked effectively at right time, easy to access for everyone. So once the extra clutter is gone, it is easier to see what is what, and it helps to find a place for everything within your working area. Everything should be located as close as possible to the place where it should be and at a location where it is both safe and easily reachable. We are trying to achieve a number of things with this step. We're trying to ensure that the workplace is ergonomic, that it should be arranged in such a way that movement are minimized and made stress free as possible. Things that you can consider is that which people or workstation uses which item, when are the items used, which items are used most frequently, should item be grouped by type, and when where would be most logical to place the items. Then you can place the heavier objects at a height where they are easy to pick from, probably the lighter ones at different location and the heavier ones at different locations. This will ensure that whatever the logical steps you are following, it is easy to find which item is where and which item is where. The third stage of 5S is shine, and it involves focusing on cleaning up the work area, which means sweeping, mopping, dusting, wiping down the surfaces, putting tools and materials away, which finally leads to quality product and process. This is because the dust and the dirt causes the product contamination and potential health hazards, and clean workspace helps identify normal conditions. So everything in its place free up some time for cleaning. This is why the first two steps of 5S becomes more critical. So in addition to basic cleaning, this steps also involves performing a regular maintenance on the equipments and machinery. Planning for maintenance ahead of time means the business can catch up problems and prevent breakdown. That means less wasted time and no loss for profit due to work stoppages. Shining the workplace might not sound exciting to you, but it is important. In 5 ways, everyone should take responsibility for cleaning up their workplace, ideally on daily basis. Doing so makes the people take ownership of their spaces, which in long run means that people can will be invested more in their work and in their company. The purpose of 5S shine is not to beautify your workplace, although it does a good job of doing so, but to make the problem more obvious, which is nothing but a significant part of your visual management system. Some top Japanese manufacturing companies employees they clean their workspace and make sure everything is in place before they leave for home. So maintaining a cleanliness should be a part of a daily work and not a occasional activity, and definitely not a one-time activity. You will not see is oil leak in an untidy workshop, but when you have a clean environment, you can easily spot that oils which could lead to more serious conditions. So that is the importance of this 5S shine, because before that you should have sorted your items. You should have segregated the items through set in order. So the fourth stage of 5S implementation system involves standardization, which involves setting up standards for neat, clean workplace. So once the first three steps of 5S are complete, things should look pretty good, and all the extra stuff is gone. Everything is organized, spaces are cleaned, and equipment is in good working condition. But the purpose of this phase is to standardize what you have done in the first three steps of 5S. However, this is far more difficult to achieve than first three. The problem is that when the 5S is new at a company, it is easy to clean and get organized. And then slowly over the period of time, things start falling apart. So standardization basically systemizes everything that just happened and turns the one-time activity into a habit, making it easy for everyone to identify the state of normal and abnormal conditions. Right? Standardize, assign the regular tasks, create schedules, post instructions so that activities become a routine, making it a standard operating procedures for 5S. It basically establishes the procedures and schedules to ensure the consistency of implementing the first three S practices by ensuring that the most efficient and the least wasteful way of doing things are performed in a repeatable manner, everything either through documentation, work instruction, or a standard operating procedures. The fifth and the final stage of 5S implementation system is sustain, which literally means the discipline. And perhaps the toughest phase is this phase, because many companies fall short of this goal. The idea here is the continuing commitment to this 5S system. It is important to follow the thorough decision that you have made in earlier fives and continually work on those things. So once the standard operating procedures for 5S are in place, business must perform the ongoing work of maintaining those procedures and updating them as necessary. Sustaining refers to the process of keeping the 5S running smoothly, also keep everyone in the organization involved. Everyone stick to the rules and make it a habit. Whether it is a manager or employees, whether you are working on a shop floor, in a warehouse or in an office, everyone has to stick to this rule. Sustenance is all about making a 5S a long-term prospect, not just a short-term project or a one-day event. Ideally, 5S become a part of organization culture. And when 5S is sustained over a period of time, business have started notice a continuous growth in their project. You can use the signs, posters, and meetings and other methods of communication that can basically keep the 5S method and practice fresh and make sure they don't spiral out of hand again. The purpose here is to sustain all the activities that you have done and make sure you follow this goal for long period of time. So adding to the 5S is the sixth S, that is safety, which is about keeping the safe environment. Some companies like to include the sixth S in their 5S program, safety, as they feel that the workers' safety is critical. And when safety is included, system is often called as 6S, not the 5S. The safety steps involves focusing on what can be done to eliminate the risk in the work processes by arranging the things in a certain way. So unlike the first five steps, safety is not a sequential step. It must be considered during each of the other steps. For example, during a sort phase, for example, if you decide that a given tool is obsolete and a newer version tool which is safe is available, so you will switch to that. Likewise, during the standardized step, work procedures must be standardized to make the workplace more safe and efficient. This might involve setting up workstations so that they are more ergonomic and safe. So if layout of a workplace is or where the people are performing tasks are dangerous, so those dangerous things need to be removed and or reduced as much as possible. That is what the sixth S focuses on. Some people consider safety as an outcome of a performing the other five S appropriately. And as a result, they say that sixth S of safety is not required. They think if the workplace is properly organized, cleaned, and uses the helpful visual tools, the separate safety step is unnecessary. Neither approach to safety is right or wrong as per me. But however, if a business wants to approach safety, it should be aware that paying attention to safety is critical and important at this point of time. So if we talk about some of the benefits that you can achieve by implementing this 5S, so it will basically reduce your cost. It will result in higher quality products, increase the productivity, greater employee satisfaction, safe work environment, inventory reduction, minimum breakdown, zero injuries, zero delays, and finally the changeover time reduction. Let us look at a couple of examples here. So left image is the scenario where 5S is yet to be implemented, and right side is the scenario where 5S is already implemented. You can see the difference from this slide. Let us take another example here. So this is again, the left side is more cluttered, right side is more organized, clean, and in a systematic manner. So that is all I have on this video. See you soon in my next video.